All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got a guy. You may recognize the face. You may recognize his face. He is in the crypto space with a lot of us. Mike B, as he goes by on YouTube, and I had a couple of subscribers like, hey man, you ought to get Mike on your show one day. You guys would just shoot the shit or whatever and just chat cryptos and this and that. He's got an interesting channel and you do. And I'm like, yeah, I know Mike. I've had a couple email conversations, with a few of these cryptos and some stuff that we were talking about, what we think about them or whatever. And I was like, yeah, let me reach out to him. So he's like, yeah, I'm busy for like a week though. Let's try to do this like on the 28th. So I was like, all right, cool. Okay. So we're actually a little early. We're gonna do it at 8 o'clock. It's like 7:15. But yeah, so we were just chatting. Mike's originally, and I didn't know this till recently. He's originally from America, and moved. Do you care about saying where you're from, or I mean, like where you live at now?
I'm in Bratislava, Slovakia. So, and by the way, thanks for having me here.
Yeah.
So I was really excited. But yeah, I moved here almost 8 years ago, and so far I like it.
Well, 8 years, I'd say, yeah. I mean, like I was telling you earlier, which I didn't know this. I just found this out like tonight. We were chatting before we started recording. And I was like, yeah, I know what, the moving thing. Whenever we're talking about going to Tennessee, and he's like, yeah, I remember when you went out there. And I'm thinking, what do you mean you're like? I didn't say it, but like, what do you mean you remember when I went? That was in 2013. But he's like, I've been following you for quite a while. Yeah. I had no idea that he was. But he's got his own YouTube channel, as you guys know, of course, Mike B, and does some really good analysis on some of these cryptos and stuff that we talk about. And I'm pleased to see a lot of the ones I'm looking at, he's looking at, and kind of feels the same about. So that's good. Let's us both know. I think we're kind of on the same page, and what we think's decent should, we both think is decent. Because if I'm talking about one and you don't, and you're talking about someone I never talk about it, there's probably a problem. We both know what the hell these things are about. We know what to look for, that kind of thing. And Mike does a pretty good breakdown on these ICOs and stuff. So that's, got to give him little props on that, because you definitely take a good amount of time and really go over some of the details on some of these things. So that's cool.
Yeah, thanks. I really try to teach people about how to analyze things, because the biggest questions people ask are like, how do you know what's good and what's not?
You want to talk a little bit about that now that you're saying that?
Yeah. So I basically look, the first thing is there a business use case? In the first 5 minutes, you can pretty much tell, are they actually solving a real problem? If they're not actually solving a real problem, then you can just throw that out right away and move along. So like, I've heard Cliff kind of refer to the same things as well when he sees something like that. That's how he's able to go through so much information. The first thing that he knows it's not applicable, just throw it out and then move along. And then their team, who they have involved, the kind of business they have set up behind it. If there's an existing business behind it, that's a big bonus. And overall, like the long-term vision, have they thought about any potential problems they could run into, those sorts of things. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then in general, it's what they want to do, right? If they want to add a lot of benefit to the people who actually give them money up front during an ICO, that tells me a lot more, right? Like passive income tokens or something like that.
Yeah, and I do like when they come up with a pre-sale and that kind of thing. It's like, it's a pre-ICO. You guys heard about us first, so you know what? Let's kind of reward you guys for getting in on early. I appreciate that, but I do say, and I keep bringing this one up recently, the face coin thing was like crazy bonus, 30,000 potential if you put in 10. Like that's nuts when you're then going to go to 500 to 1 for everybody else who missed it. Like that's a bit on the nutty side, but what the hell? I'm putting in a little bit into that one just for the hell of it.
Yeah, I mean, anything, why not? Because you can just flip that for Ethereum if you want and make money either way, right? If you believe in the project long term or not, right? It makes sense to do that.
And are you a pretty good supporter? Like I'm sure you hear, if you're a subscriber, I'm sure you hear me talk about all the time. I always tell people, I'm not selling my pillar. It's kind of a long term thing. Do you feel kind of the same way, where that thing could probably have a good space out in the future?
I sold some of my pillar because I got in a while ago, but it was more like a trading thing that I think other things will do better. But as for the project, yeah. I don't know if you know, but I volunteer with Pillar, and I'm going to do a
I didn't
Pillar
know
meetup.
that.
Yeah, I'm going to do a Pillar meetup in Amsterdam or around Amsterdam in October. And yeah, they got a lot of people. They're like heads down. Like people are complaining about the price, but if you go to the community, everybody there has their head down in work and really focusing on the problem. So
Yep.
they're actually really want to solve. I'm not sure if you're up to date on the GDPR issue. Do you know about this? Like,
No.
oh, okay, it's a big regulatory mess in the European Union, basically.
Oh,
So
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So they're looking to solve that, and that's definitely a longer term problem. But from what I know, their wallet is supposed to come out, at least the first version of it, the first quarter of 2018. So I think if there's going to be a pop in the price, it'll probably be around then.
Yep. And I kind of I hear what you're saying too about more of like a trade move on some of your pillar you unloaded. And I get it too. I talked to my buddy Frank. You guys always hear me say, yeah, my buddy Frank. And he's in on pillar. I'm in on pillar. There's a bunch of us, people I know that are on pillar. We haven't really sold any of that stuff at all, but we kind of had this discussion on the side, which I haven't told anybody this yet, so I'll just say it here now. But it's going to be probably hard for me to relinquish my pillar, I think, just because I feel like in the future it's really going to do well. But and me and Frank talked about this, and he says, here's the thing. That stupid token we're all waiting for that may not happen with Cliff High, this mystery token we think it might be US or whatever. Or what if Cliff High says, hey, man, this is another move, get ready for this other token, and you want to, we only got so much cash, and I need to free up some cash. I'm going to have to look at my portfolio and determine what do I want to unload, even if across the board, do I want to do that? And he said, I'll be honest, man, if Pillar's sitting there, even if it's still flat again, the fact that it's been flat for so long, I may just liquidate some of it, play the game with this one, and then as soon as I, if it's a good move ultimately, of course, and I made some profit, put it back, get my pillar back, and go that way. So I said, that's not a bad strategy. And that's not just a pillar strategy, by the way, anybody listening. This is any coin that just may not be performing to your liking, and you need to free up something. If it's been going, let's just say something's going for 4 months straight, and it sucks. Well, hell, there's something coming up in 4.5 months I want to get in. Unload a little bit, unload a little bit of that. Get into the new one that you want to get into in 4.5 months. Okay, a month later, they released their tokens. They went up. I made a profit. Let me put my holdings back into Pillar for the time being, that kind of thing, or whatever the token is, So that's an interesting strategy that could certainly play off. But for me, I don't know. I just, sometimes when I believe in something so strongly, I didn't want to let go for a second until until it's time, and I just feel like it's not time. I just can't let go of these damn things.
Yeah. I mean, that trading strategy, I did the same thing with Omisi Go. So I sold
nice.
my Veritasium and Populus, and a bunch of other stuff, everything that I could basically, and got into that. But as for Pillar, you're going to need the tokens to go and claim your account at these sites or organizations, whatever. So how many accounts do you have? You have 10, 20, 30. So you're going to need tokens for every single account that you have when you want to claim it. So there's a legitimate reason why you might want to have a bunch. I don't know exactly how many you'll need to go and claim your account, but you'll need something. So
what do you mean? What do you say? Claim your account? What does that mean?
There was some documentation that was basically put together, and it works like the user uses the token to go and make a request at the account holder, basically like, let's say Amazon or eBay or whatever, and they can confirm that, and it works on a transactional basis. So it's a transaction, but you're actually claiming the account in the transaction.
Okay.
So that's how it works on the tokenized basis.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and this was used like as a pitch deck to go out to organizations and say, hey, look, we can save you 20 million or a couple billion maybe, depending on how big your revenue is, based on the potential fines that you could be getting for not being compliant to this regulation. So
real good use case. Yeah, and in that space, it could definitely be huge. That's why I keep telling people, Pillar wasn't just this little one-trick pony. They're going to do a wallet and this and that. So they want to open source their code. They want it to be literally the pillar of crypto world where everything kind of talks to it, or it helps do something with this crypto to that crypto. They jive. I mean, I remember when I had David on, I was talking to him, you know, in the beginning before the ICO, and I'm just thinking, man, I could see the future total use of Pillar.
Yeah, and you know how you and Cliff were talking about the atomic swaps with Pillar?
Yes.
Right. All right. Well, I don't know if it was with Pillar, but you can do that with Pillar. Because what they want to do is basically make it like a one-touch thing on the wallet where you can swap like you have with Shapeshift. But why not just go all the way and do it the atomic swaps? It's certainly possible.
Yeah, that's cool. That's gonna be interesting when that stuff starts to really get out there and people start using that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be so cool. I was just right before I called you on Skype, I was doing this video because I was telling everybody, you know, there's a couple of cryptos I'm looking at, you know, coming up, and I just mentioned it in the ultimately what will be the video before this one that comes out tomorrow. And they want to take it's called ETCH. They want to take payroll to the blockchain and completely get, and also this solves the problem of payday loans. You know, so you're working now hourly, your wallet's getting hit, bing, bing, bing. You know, so like you're broke at today. I've got $10 in my account. By lunchtime, I got lunch money. I can go to the grocery store live, and you can also send it out, you know, overseas, and you can send money back home, and it can be switched out into the whatever currency of your choice, and it'll be tied one-to-one, so it doesn't fluctuate massively, kind of a thing. So, really interesting thing. I was watching it for about it's been at least probably 3 weeks since I first started looking into it, but I felt comfortable kind of talking about it now.
I just actually heard about it yesterday, and I was checking it out earlier today. So
interesting.
Yeah,
and I had a communication with one of the guys there because I have another interview lined up on Monday. Monday for another one of these ones that I was going to talk about, but I haven't gone that far with this one. But I've been communicating through email a couple times, and they sent me an attachment. Hey, this is kind of an exclusive. They've made this deal with KP something GMG, whatever this accounting outfit where they manage payrolls and things like that. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's the right person you want to partner with or get on your team, anyways. Yeah. So I mean, you could just see that in the future where, you know, I get paid bi-weekly, or I get paid, you know, what? I get paid every second. You know, it's trickling in as I'm speaking. You know, I go to the store right now. That the payday loan scammers will be out of business forever, possibly.
Yeah,
you know,
they're
20-30% interest.
Yeah, and it's targeting the worst population. I mean,
the poorest.
It's legalized loan sharking. It's insane.
Unbelievable. So you have anything on your radar by chance? Are you kind of looking at? You're kind of psyched about anything?
Yeah, there's one Spectre. It's like a trading platform with no brokers, but there's a big passive income opportunity with it.
Okay, stop right now. Stop right now.
Okay.
The one I told you I had an interview lined up for Monday is Spectre.
Okay. Okay.
No, it's okay to break it. It doesn't matter. I don't know if I mentioned it in my last video. It's okay. But I saw that too, and I'm like, okay, you're getting rid of the middleman, the broker trading platform. Oh my gosh. So go ahead. I'm kind of excited about that one too.
You've seen the passive income opportunity from it. You have? I've
heard about it. Yeah.
It's insane because you have like all of your traditional assets plus all of the crypto assets, and then they'll have a DApp store. So if somebody wants to create like a loan platform, like maybe a competitor to Salt or whatever, they can basically create that and then use the funds pool, and then whatever profits from that DApp get pushed into that liquidity pool for Spectre, and the original token holders who hold that dividend token will get the payout both from the DApps and also from the trading platform. Okay, and they have a Google Doc that they publish in their Telegram, that where you can go and play with it, and it shows like their financial estimations. And if you go on, like, you can go and find like trade averages for the average trader, and within like a couple of years, like maybe 5 or 6 years, it looks like you can probably have maybe $800-900 or more of passive income per dividend token. Okay, so you invest 1 Ethereum now, in 3 years, you're already looking at like 3,700 just from the very conservative numbers, and in dividends only. That doesn't include the token appreciation or anything like that. It's like more than 10x. It's incredible.
Yeah, and that caught my eye, and I'm like, wait a minute, let me go over this again. I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at their white paper. Reached out, had a couple chats with some people over there, and it's. I think it's gonna be that deal. Like seriously, like it's gonna be that deal. Trading platform extraordinaire, and then some.
Yeah, and there's a couple of these exchanges that are coming out. Like Wandex was another one. It's a bit smaller, but it allows you to kind of create like a custom ETF of a token, not like a paper ETF like we've been scammed with.
Like a real one.
Yeah,
what's supposed to do.
So if I have my crypto holdings, I can create a token, and you can buy that, and it kind of gives you trade exposure to whatever I'm holding, right? And I can see all of the flexibility, like in the future, people will have retirement funds created from these sorts of things. And I see like retirement funds actually being legitimate and not being bankrupt and taken by governments. So
again, blockchain to the rescue. Once again, blockchain to the rescue.
Yeah, I mean, even if a government goes bankrupt, they can't seize the funds like they're doing now. Like they're taking the funds that are due in 20 years out. You know what I mean?
Well, everybody, I use this software when I do these like Skype recordings and stuff. It's called Avar, EVAER. It's like a Skype plugin. It's like 30 or 40 bucks. Works great. Records 2, 3, 4 people, whatever the conversation is. I use it every time. And right around the 16-minute and 41-second mark, I noticed a little error popped up. Said something about audio. Click here to see the warning. And I'm like, well, it's just a warning. I don't click it. I looked over. I see the little audio bar and everything working fine. So we just kept going. Well, this video was originally about 35, 36 minutes. And just got cut in half. But the good news is we pretty much were talking about, the majority of what we were talking about, we kind of got out already. And we were just kind of shooting the breeze a bit about our family. And I'd like to, honestly, if I can make this stuff work, pay off my mother-in-law's house. She doesn't owe very much. My sister's house. Of course, pay off my house first. I got to do my own first. Obviously, we were just talking about stuff like that. Just some, the future of this stuff. It's going to be really cool. So that's the short version of 16 minutes. Unfortunately, sorry guys. But anyways, Mike's got a real good channel, YouTube channel. He talks about the cryptos, does a real good in-depth analysis on these things like I mentioned earlier. And if you want to check him out, just search YouTube for Mike B. You will see him pretty much first choice. I'm going to upload this video to a little FTP, a little web server, and I'm going to have him download it so he can put it on his channel. I'll put it on my channel, that kind of thing. Just to kind of spread it, people that that are his subscribers maybe come over to mine. Mine will come over to him. Check us both out, that kind of thing, because Mike's got a good channel. I will add one thing that we did. I do remember what we talked about after this. That matter of fact, we can maybe go into this for a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if my video looks a little screwed up for the recording for some reason. In a second go around. Anyways, Mike emailed me a while back and was like, "Hey man, with these ICOs, you can put up your own node." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." So he kind of gave me a little quick version of how to do it. I had to really go step by step, but he's like, here's to get you started. So cool. Went and took it, put up my own node, did a little test run. Wow, it works, and it's instant, like it's fast. So part of that is putting up the website that the web files that my Ether wallet uses. It's open source. They give it out. Dump that onto your web server. In this case, mine was a Windows server. And I went there to localhost. Boom, there it was. Awesome. And so I was able to do some trades. Anyways, we were talking about the potential need for this on some of these ICOs as we get into 2018 and stuff, and maybe even sooner, PayPal might be one of them, where you better be quick or you're going to lose out. And so that's where this kind of thing comes in handy, because everyone else has to use my Ether wallet or whatever.com. And I know you can change the nodes to the top right. That's great and all, but you're still potentially competing with a bunch of other people. It's nice to have your own node. But Mike, you did say you had a video. It was a basic one, you said, right? It was just something like how to set up a node?
Yeah, just let me think of how it's called. Just setting up a node for an ICO, I think. The whole goal was just to give people enough information to go and do it, and then like the puzzle pieces to put it together, right?
Yeah,
It's not like a step by step, right?
right. Kind of like what you gave me. I took that. Me being a technical IT guy, clearly, I wasn't a problem for me. You obviously did it because you wouldn't have showed me if you didn't know how to do it. But anyways, if anyone's on the little bit of a technical side, you want to try to put up your own node. Again, just search YouTube Mike B, and then after the name, put setting up a node or something like that. It'll probably come right up. So anyways, yeah, sorry we had to cut this off. It was a great video, but at least we got out probably what the majority of what we talked about in the first 16 minutes. The last half was about how it's just life-changing stuff and how this is going to be the future and it's going to help banking. And you had some friends that really weren't interested. They don't seem to care. I have some that didn't, but I have some that are. And once we get to that point, everyone's going to care because it's going to be all around you. But anyways, yeah, so we're going to cut this short. Mike, appreciate you having you on. And if you're ever in Florida, stop by the old crypto ranch. We're going to have to come by and do a video or something if you're ever out this way.
For sure. And thanks for having me.
All right. Take care.
You too. Bye.